What's popping off, yo? This is the Dr. Greenthumb podcast for Be Real. I am Dr. Greenthumb, aka Be Real, with two of my good friends right here who I've had the pleasure to work with on a few different things. My man Demrick and Dizzy Wright. What's popping off, y'all?
What it
What's
do?
up, brother?
Good to have you on.
Man, thank you for having us, G.
Hey, look, off top, I gotta say that I love when y'all two work together because y'all have like this special energy. Like there's a whole lot of solo artists out there in hip hop, and we know this, and some of them are our favorites. You know what I'm saying? But there's just something about when two people like collaborate together and make something, and it works. Like there's a chemistry, there's a dynamic there that one adds to the other, and vice versa. Man, y'all definitely got that, and when y'all make records together and then when you guys do shows together, it's dope, man. So I want to commend you on that off top. Y'all are some of my favorite peoples, know what I'm saying, to
Hey,
work
thank
with.
you so much. Hey, that's the ultimate compliment, coming from you, and just especially everything that you've done, Cypress Hill and all the groups and everything that we've done. Hey, brother, that collaborative effort and the power that comes in when people are actually working together. That's it brings a certain kind of energy when the vibe is right.
And that's how we got here. That's how we got here, because we noticed it too. As soon as we got in the studio and we was vibing together and like the songs was organically coming together, we was like, man, this could be something special. Like, shit, we might want to package this music up and put it out there for the people to feel what we feeling. And shit, that's how we got here. So we really appreciate that.
And the other thing is the work ethic. Y'all ain't afraid to go get it. Some in this business that we're in, they wait for it to come to them, and it never comes. And realistically, it's not a game that comes to you. You have to go to it or meet it in the middle. But y'all said fuck the middle. Y'all go to it like straight warriors, and that's what I love about it, because you could sit down and sit on your hands and then complain that nothing is cracking for you, nobody's looking out, or these motherfuckers ain't doing shit, and this and that. Y'all don't leave room for excuses, and that's what I love. Y'all just go do it. Like fuck what everybody else is doing. We're gonna go do our thing, and I think that shows it like that energy, that attitude shows in the music, that y'all are having fun doing what you do, and you're having fun doing it together. Like the teamwork is fucking amazing. And let me ask you this: that and you guys are both solo artists. I know this shit, but you guys work in a dynamic of a duo or even being in a group. Cause I know from seeing y'all work together and shit, and I've worked with Demrick in this similar setting. Like, does it make making songs easier, the fact that you have this chemistry to bounce off each other in the studio?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That shit just we be in the studio, a beater come on, and then we'll have 3 ideas for the song and shit. It'll be like we'll just pick which one we like the most. You know what I'm saying? Shit just be coming to us. We just be going off that chemistry, and like we be on the road, so we're always inspired by being on the road and the shit that be happening on the road. So it's just being motivated, I guess, to have different things to talk about, especially when you're just performing night after night and you're doing the same songs over and over, and you just want to be creative, you know what I'm saying, and come up with something new. As soon as we get into that bubble, it's a wrap. It's just ideas flying from everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
B, it ain't never been a problem writing a song. We could get the song, and I think in that independent mindset of just not waiting for record labels or waiting for approval, just trusting the instinct of being creative and letting the music speak. I know that definitely. I'm like, yo, if I love a song, I'm like, I got a music video idea and I got a music video homie, then shit, we gonna run up a music video. You know what I mean? Because we gonna live that creative moment all the way through to the end and then put it out. And then I like like that's when people could judge it. Because you know, once it's out of our hands and it's gone, then everybody, oh, we like this. This is when all the different opinions come into the thing. But you know, as far as just creating and waiting, like if we waited, we would have thousands and thousands of songs just sitting in the computer on the hard drive. You know what I'm saying? Waiting for the right time, it may never come.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's important that if you got that vibe, that you ride that shit out, and you know, you don't stop it for nobody. You know what I mean? Like, so there's gonna be times you got to sit on material and wait because some shit is timing, but
Oh, absolutely.
you got momentum though. You don't want to wait too long, and y'all create this dope momentum together, and I think that's why, you know, it just is fucking, it's magic, dog. And I think, you know, the more you guys build on it, the better it comes. And I know I fuck with that shit. So, you know, off top, I had to tell you that. And let me ask you this: like, when you guys tour together, and I know you guys do a lot of solo shows, because, like, you know, Demrick is one. Since I know him, he's been on the fucking road back and forth with us, by himself, with, you know, Exhibit, all this shit. Like, when y'all get on stage together, what's the mindset? Are y'all trying to kill whoever's coming back, like, after you guys? Like, are you trying to make it a hard time for whoever's coming after you?
Oh yeah, every time. Every time we try to go out there and give it everything we got. You know, I'm big on energy and just being able to, like, pronounce my words and you know, being understood while I'm on stage and everything, but still giving the show the energy that it deserves. But shit, we just trying to live up to the greats too, like y'all, Cypress, you know, Method Man and Redman, you know, the ones that was able to get up there and really smoke it down with the fans and put on a really good show for over 60 minutes. You know what I'm saying? We feel like only the legends with a lot of energy and crowd participation, we feel like really only the legends can do that. Like, it's a lot of rappers that talk about smoking and things like that, which is cool, but you know, they don't want to smoke until after the show, or they won't smoke before the show, or, you know, they might hit a little puff of it. You know, we want to be able to keep the stamina up with the greats and, like, you know, following them footsteps. So it's always a big deal when we get out there.
I agree. I agree with all that, man. Just studying, bro. You know, shit. My first gig was Be Real Hype Man gig. You know what I'm saying? So I've been watching the whole thing, and I know when I first started getting in front of bigger audience, my number one goal was crowd control. Being able to take everybody in the room, and even I learned a lot of that from Dizzy. Like, you go to a Dizzy Wright concert, and especially when Diz hits that stage, the room is just captivated with the story that it gets. You know, the talking in between everything gotta go to, you know, the seeing. I think Diz was the first, like, rapper that was like the younger rapper that didn't have none of his lyrics in the verses either, you know, was going out there and just ripping it down. You know, if you went double time in the booth, you gotta go double time on the stage. Nobody's there to save you.
Nobody there to save you.
There to save you. Hey, man, so I think it's just seeing all that. I mean, I take that into my live show, and you know, everything when me and Diz hit the stage together, it's that same energy.
Yeah, man, when you got complicated tracks like that, man, and you be trying to rap to it with vocals underneath, man, that's a train wreck ready to happen. And that's why I love when motherfuckers, like, are willing to put themselves on the line and do those songs without the track. Because, you know, if you fuck up, that's, you know, hey, you fuck up, that's gonna happen. But people know that you're actually trying to deliver that real shit to them. And if you deliver it to them, even better, you know what I'm saying? But, like, our camp always live by the code as we do all those vocals. We don't lean on those tracks. So when I see other cats, like, you know, doing that same thing, like Diz and like yourself, like rapping the verses that you wrote and not leaning on the track, you know what I'm saying? I think it's great, man. And I think more motherfuckers need to practice that, because more often than not, in this day and time, you got guys that got dope songs, but they can't perform them. And that's definitely not you guys. You know what I'm saying? I think motherfuckers need to come with that warrior spirit, like, I'm gonna go do my tracks. And not just be the hype man for your fucking vocal track.
Be the hype man for your hype man and for your own song.
Hey man, listen, I seen designer do that. I seen designer do that shit, and you know, as much as I love that song, man, I was like, damn, he didn't even do the vocals. He was doing the hype parts.
Right.
I can't remember what show he was doing that shit on, but that shit was just ridiculous. And so I always respect, you know, more when you can do the verses to your song. If you wrote them complicated, just like Diz said, you should be able to do them complicated and all. If not, don't write that song.
Yeah, facts. I agree.
What's the hardest song you ever wrote, like either individually or together?
Every time when we would perform that on the tour that we did it, because it's audio pushed on that song, Diz on that song, and I'm on that song. And my verse, I just try to go crazy. I can't even, I was even thinking if I could do it now. I can't even do it right now. I don't remember it off the top of the head, but I could never get through that verse. Even if somebody said one part for me to try to help me get on point, I rap so fast. If I stop once, getting back into the groove at the right point was always clicking off. And so it's like one of those things where I would go on the tour. I didn't get it right the whole tour until like the very last show. But there's usually always one song on my tour that always happens like that. I fuck it up, one piece of it, all the way through the whole tour. And then last three shows, I get in my groove and knock it out, you know? But I would say No Chill for sure, the hardest one.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, man, sometimes, you know, you write these songs and they fucking sound good as fuck, and when you can deliver them, it's all good, but some of them are work to deliver.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when you saying that now, I'm thinking about, like, I wasn't even thinking about, like, running out of breath. Yeah, there's some songs that absolutely got snatched out the set that was just like,
that vein start poking out when you got breath the air, man, it start poking out on you.
I did a song with Tech Nine and Jaron Benton called Keep It 100. And like, you know, I really wanted to perform that record, like, but the amount of energy that I wanted to put into the hook when it came to my verse, oh, nigga, I was struggling. I was like, I'm gonna have to replace this with something a little more player. You know what I mean? That was another difficult song for me too. What about you though? You got any songs like that was like difficult for you?
You know, like some of the songs that fuck, what was it? It was like one of the more up tempo rock songs. It was Hang 'Em High, I think it was called, because it's, you know, a lot of words, a lot of syllables compacted in a fast fucking beat. You know, because I always try to have not too many pockets there, like just constant flow. And that was hard. When I got used to it, it wasn't so hard, but realistically, it was getting my cardio up. Like for me, I took the mentality like this, right? We do a lot of up-tempo songs with BPMs close to 110, right? 105, 110, all that shit. Like, let's just say, for instance, Killer Man and Dr. Greenthumb are at like 104 BPM, like around that area. Meaning it's a more up tempo song, so there's a lot of energy and shit like that. And you know, we had songs faster than that. So the way I looked at it, like, you know, we as rappers who are delivering all these words at a certain BPM per phrase, it's not like singing where they use little words and phrases and they stretch them out. You know, we have a lot of words per minute. So I figured, you know what? I got to start training like an athlete trains to be able to have that cardio to deliver those hard fucking songs. So I do that. Like, you know, and Demrick knows I've been training forever, you know, so like when I go on stage for that hour and a half and have to deliver that roller coaster set, you know, that I can deliver it. But I'll tell you what the hardest song in that set is, and it's not even the hardest in terms of style and flipping. It's for some reason, and I don't know why it's always been like this, but Rock Superstar is probably the hardest song to do, because the verses are extra fucking long. They're longer than a normal Cypress Hill verse is. And especially that goddamn last verse, that shit feels like it goes on forever. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's like the hardest one to do right there, even though it's not necessarily, it's not so fast a song and the style ain't so complicated. I have easier times with more complicated styles of flip on some of the other shit. And because that was not even a hard style to do, it's just the power that goes behind it and the length of the verse. And we don't use track, so when Sen and I go, we deliver our full verse. We might be hyping each other's parts up, but we're delivering the full verse, 90% of the time. So yeah, that's probably the hardest one on voice to do that one. Not necessarily cardio, but the voice. That shit is hard.
Hey, and that trips me out too, because I would have thought you would have said the one where you playing the percussion and rapping at the same time. Because I can't believe that you can do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You going crazy right here and rapping. That blows. I just like two different rhythms all happening at one time, two completely different, parts of the brain have to work differently to make it all happen. To me, it seems like almost impossible.
Well, there's a couple times I fucked that up. There's a couple times I fucked that up, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I came in wrong, or I had to stop because I knew I was like off the beat. But that was. It took a minute to get that, but I've been playing percussions forever. When Eric Bobo came on the squad, he immediately started teaching me how to play because I was always intrigued by percussion. So, when I could put that into the repertoire, I fucking definitely did that. Like I could probably do a set where I play percussion and rap at the same time. I ain't never tried it because realistically, I don't need to do it. But like there was a couple times I think I did We Ain't Going Out Like That on my last verse on percussions, where I played here and then Bobo was on timbale. So I would just play and spit the verse. I only did it a few times because that shit is taxing. It's double the cardio.
Yeah.
It's really double the cardio when you're playing percussions and trying to spit out those bars. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But hey, it made for a good show.
Yeah, it's one of them tricks in that, you reach in the bag of tricks, you like got this one. Everybody could do that.
Do it all the time, and then we cut it out, and Mike and Bobo do their shit now, and it's ridiculous. You've seen it. It's crazy. And when we put that show back together that we were supposed to do for 420, you're gonna see them there. You know what I'm saying? Because I was excited to have Diz on the bill, and I knew you had to be coming for that shit. So
and super excited. I can't wait to today set that back up again. We definitely gonna be out there smoking good.
We're gonna do that. So let me ask you this: what have you guys been doing while in quarantine? You guys been working on new shit separately, but like I know you guys are dropping something in June, right? June 5th, is it?
Yeah, June 5th.
Blaze with us too.
Yes, blaze with us too. I would blaze with you too in a heartbeat, bro.
Yeah, we gotta do it.
I have, man. Hey, so let me ask you this: did you guys do any collaborations on the album? Did you have other cats come on the album, or did you guys just put it on your back yourselves?
You can talk about it, Demrick. Go ahead.
Well, we don't have any features on the album, but you wonder what we did is, the reason why I think that we didn't have any actual features on the album, because remember, you was on the first one, Burner was on the first one. There's a lot of people that we had on there, but on this one, we just wanted to really tap into the Blaze with Us energy, because when we make that music, it's in a certain kind of lane, like we inspired to make, basically like, music that's lyrical and vibe that you could smoke to, based around like cannabis, We don't want to make it an overtone, but just make it like a theme along the music. But for this one, we actually sat down with Tommy Chung, and interviewed him. You know, we got to a similar type of situation like this and talked to him, and he dropped a lot of gems on us, and we just sprinkled that all through the record.
That's awesome. That's a great thing to do too. Like just subtle little drops here and there.
Yeah.
That's dope.
And he inspired a song called "Don't Worry" on the album that I think that we went and made like directly after kicking it with him.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a funny dude. It's hard not to laugh when you're sitting there with him because he'll just fucking, you know, he'll just rail away like in his style of sense of humor, and you know, it
hell yeah,
make you laugh every fucking minute. I remember doing sketches with him for one of the Cypress Hill albums. I think it was actually Rise Up. Maybe they did a few sketches for us there. Or actually, no, it was before that. It was on one of our other albums because we did it with him a couple of times. And I could not keep it together. You know, we're trying to record this fucking sketch and he comes on full on Chong mode. Yeah, man, I'm going to go get this ounce and do. And the shit he was saying, I could not keep it together. I kept laughing. I fucked up all those takes. I had to leave the room so he could do those shits right without me fucking him up because it was just so goddamn funny to me. It was hard to keep a straight face.
Oh yeah, he brings that energy, man. That's that legendary, you know, a stoner energy right there, and just that comedic angle that he got is just timeless. So good. Oh, yeah.
I mean, those dudes' comedy was cutting edge at that time, and it was way ahead of its time. But you know, it's all caught up, and now motherfuckers look at them like you know, they're the inspiration to all this, and they are. You know, I mean, people, yes, since the 40s or something like that, in the 30s and 40s, the jazz musicians were talking about cannabis in their songs. A lot of the shit that the new slang they were creating, they were talking about cannabis in there. Like they created the term reefer and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And a few other words, you know what I mean? That no one knew what the fuck they were talking about. They just thought, you know, it was like a cool way to say this or that, but they didn't know that these guys were talking about, you know, weed back then. Right. Only the people in their circles knew that, like people that were listening to jazz, and then eventually reggae music did the same, and they were more blatant. You know, they didn't use terms or any that type of shit. They
were saying legalize it at the top of their lungs. Legalize it.
They were saying about it.
And Tommy and Cheech, you know, they fucking put it in humor. You know, they put it into humor, and then guys like us, we came and put it into fucking hip hop music. You know what I'm saying? But realistically, the big influence on the cats that were doing hip hop really was Cheech and Chong. Like if you look at, or if you listen to like a lot of 90s records for a lot of the motherfuckers that smoked weed, including us, we all referenced Cheech and Chong. Right. For sure. I would like to see what the fucking statistic is on how many times Cheech and Chong were referenced in hip hop as a whole in terms of like songs made. How many times were they fucking their names dropped?
Right. Damn.
Thousands.
Thousands. Crazy. Had to be.
Yeah.
That would be a fucking cool number to know, right? Like how many times has Cheech and Chong been mentioned on record, on music, on a music fucking standpoint, you know, even outside of hip hop, probably more so mentioned than hip hop.
Oh yeah, so many clever bars could go with smoking out with your homies and Cheech and Chong. You know, there's endless.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We took inspiration for them on the new music video that we just dropped, the all night music video, you know, dressing up and playing the you know, just making jokes, being funny, lighthearted, and just playing with the role, you know, as far as like tapping into the comedic aspect of two dudes just waiting on the weed man. And the weed man talking about he gonna be right down the street, and then he never shows up, or he shows up hours and hours and hours later. So we just did a little play on that.
Do you feel it's more fun to do a video when you're not being so serious, not taking yourself so serious, and when it's more of a comedic type of play like that?
What do you think, Diz?
To me, it just depends on the record. Like sometimes, like, you know, shit that happen in the world, and I create a song, and then I go do a video for it, and you know, that'll just be the energy that it is. But like most of the time, when I step out to the video shoots, it's always good vibes. The energy is normally the same.
Yeah.
This video essentially was like different because, you know, we had to keep the number of people down. You know, we shot it during the during this whole pandemic. So we tried to keep it to less than 10 people. And you know, so and they was telling people not to shake hands, and you know, we didn't know how to feel. You know what I'm saying? So when we showed up, the energy was the same, but it was a little different because of this whole pandemic thing. But normally when we shoot videos, it's just always good vibes. Like when the weed is around and we working, you know, we get to kick it with each other, but we also working, doing something that's gonna help us help the career. We always having a good time.
Yeah, man. I think a lot of ways that we were used to in terms of doing shows and doing videos and even traveling to some of the shows is going to be a real interesting deal in you know, the days to come or the months to come, because you know, who knows when it's going to fucking start back up. You know, it'd be a trip if they start saying that you know, you got to get vaccinated to go to Europe, or if to come here to the United States, or you know, some places you got to get vaccinated to go already, and some people have to do it because maybe they got work over there or whatever, and they have to travel to this particular region where you might need a vaccination. But that's something that a lot of us as artists are going to have to deal with in the future. And I know that some that are conspiracy theorists are not going to want that vaccination.
Yeah, I'm not rushing to get a vaccination at all.
Not to be in the first in line, never.
Yeah, not being no, niggas do not want to be the first in line. No, sir.
I'm just curious what concerts are going to be like when it even just comes back around, when they letting, you know, 500,000, 10,000 people meet, 20,000 people get together. It just sounds like not even possible. Like I can't, if they tripping over 10 people getting together, you know, how they gonna feel about 1,000 people getting in a room and doing everything that just seemed so regular before that. Now, I don't think that if you live through this pandemic right now, I don't think you're gonna be able to forget about it as soon as they say you can go back outside. I don't think everybody's, you know, that kind of like, get away from me, or oh, don't stand it too close, or where's his mask? Like, is that gonna go away?
When you think about it, bro, you know, people been here for centuries, and they, you know, our bodies adapt, and throughout the years they adapt, you know what I'm saying? And I think we'll get back to that place. It might take some time, but even getting back there, it'll probably be a little bit different. Everybody will be safer. But the thing that has to happen is motherfuckers got to take responsibility, right? So like if you're sick, you might have to miss that show, or you might have to miss that day at work, and you know, like be a little bit safer about the choices you make, because you can get other fucking people sick. You know what I'm saying? But I think eventually it'll go back. It's just it'll be a new way of going back. We don't know what that is yet, but
So crazy to me. It's so crazy. Cause I be thinking like concerts and everything, bro. Like people be standing close, jumping around, sweating on each other. Like, you know, people try to keep their distance a little bit, but you know, them shows get jam packed sometimes. Like
what'll happen is for shows like that, right? Is that they'll do like they're going to at theme parks. Like theme parks are now developing technology to know if that person's body temperature is too high and they're running a fever or something like that. They'll have technology to target people to say, hey, we're not going to allow you in today because, you know, you're running a fever. So I believe they're going to probably do that. They'll probably eventually develop that shit for festivals,
Yeah.
like staff, and for people coming in. You know what I mean? Because I think that's going to be a part of the new normal for sure. Because I mean, that immediately you know that it's a detection system, right? So just like they have the helicopters in the sky that fucking, you know, patrol our cities and shit here and there. Guess what those helicopters have? They have the fucking technology that detects body heat, right? So if anybody runs from them via foot or anything and your heart rate goes up, your blood starts pumping and your body temperature goes up, guess what? They could fucking see you. It's like that thermo fucking type of technology, right? So they fucking have that. And if they have that, they can make technology to detect you coming in to one of these places to know if your body's temperature is running too high. And I believe that there's immediately motherfuckers trying to, you know, like perfect that technology to use it for that shit. For these supermarkets, theme parks, and anywhere that people have to be together for a specific amount of time. Because how long does it take you to go shopping, right? It takes some people an hour, some people 15 minutes, some people 30, right? At a theme park, you're going to be there for a fucking couple of hours. At a concert, you're going to be there for a couple hours. So there's no way that they're going to fucking allow anybody now to take a chance. It's like, okay, one of the staff members is sick. Oh, well, we need we need the fucking guy. So you know what? If he's sick, fuck it, let him come through and, you know, he'll just have to deal with it. There ain't going to be no more of that shit.
No, but you're saying that they're like, that system's gonna be in place before we're back on stage.
I don't know that. I don't know that. I don't know that for sure. I don't know if that's going to be the system in place. But what I am saying is that there are some theme parks that are already working on that. And I would imagine that if the promoters of these festivals want to get their shit going, they're going to have to put like some sort of safety measure in place that will you know, that they could pitch to the city where they'll get an allowance from the city and state to throw a fucking festival. So they're going to have to get that from somewhere. You know what I mean? But I don't know if that's what it's going to be. It doesn't look like it, because some of these fucking states, they're opening up their bars and fucking people are fucking swarming to the bars like nothing, like ain't shit going on, like in Wisconsin or something like that. So it's like, I would imagine that that's eventually the technology probably getting done right now for most big theme parks and stadiums and shit like that. But you know,
imagine that fan standing in line, trying to sneak his weed in, trying to sneak in his shrooms, or trying to sneak in his alcohol, and then security comes and grabs him out of line. Say, hey man, you got a 101 fever. You can't come in here. You got to go home.
a point where the line starts so that they catch a motherfucker before he's even in a line.
Get in line, crazy.
Just say he's in a line and they catch him before he goes through the door. Who's to say he didn't spread that shit to everybody else in those lines?
That's true.
They're sick, but they weren't sick that day. You know, but they might have caught it from the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You just let all these people in that were around this sick motherfucker. You got to get him before he's in the line.
I'm thinking about those shows though, like, man, when you touring during the fall and it's just super cold, maybe snowing outside, it's a line out there, and like they're gonna have to send somebody down that line to check them temperatures. It's gonna be
true that. That's
exactly. Hey, and another thing is like so meet and greets, like are they forever changed? Or
I would imagine that people are still gonna do them. You know, it might be a different form of meet and greet, but I would think motherfuckers are still going to do them, and some are going to be too afraid to do them. Some artists are probably just going to shut that shit down and do like a Zoom meet and greet. Like, okay, we can't be in the same room, but you know what? Here, we're going to do a Zoom meet and greet. Some might do it that way. You know, I don't know. Motherfuckers are gonna get creative, that's for sure. But I would say that some artists are gonna be afraid to like meet with people because you know how many artists have some of these conditions, but you know you don't know about it because they don't talk about it, they don't disclose it because you know it's
Yeah.
Right.
private life, so they could be affected by someone who's infected.
Yeah. And you know, shaking hands and taking pictures and being close to people and all that stuff is such a part of the job. You know, it's like, you know, like I was saying, like shaking hands might be done with. Dapping and sharing blunts might be a done deal.
Yeah.
I'm doing it fucking you know, Shaolin style.
And be like, yes, yes, yes,
Yes.
yes,
You
yes.
know what I'm saying? Just fucking give a bow. That's
Yo.
that's the new dap because you know you just never know. Because hey, listen, motherfuckers will go to their job, they'll go to a party, they'll you know go hang out with their homies sick and not tell their homies that shit
Right.
and smoke their own joint. They will totally infect the circle. You know, oh man, if I tell them they're sick, they're not gonna pass me that joint. Hey, listen, tell me you're sick. I'll roll you a joint. You can go home and smoke it.
That's it.
Here.
Yo, man, I just feel like I built my whole career off really getting out there and shaking hands and like, you know, hugging the fans and chopping it up with them and like really interacting with them.
Wear the gloves.
There it is.
Dog. Gloves and a pound.
Gloves. That's the gloves. Okay. Damn.
Streets. Fucking rock the gloves.
Real, like, I got the answer right here, bro. This is it.
Get gloves. Oh my goodness. The world just damn.
Hey, people was clowning Michael Jackson for that shit. He had it like, you know, he had it down before everybody. He had a mask and gloves before everybody. This motherfucker pioneering it for us.
He was a visionary.
We didn't even see it.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know, hey, listen, because we travel the world, we see shit, and I know that every time I went to Japan, it was a mask culture where they wore
Yeah.
surgical masks, not necessarily the gloves, but definitely the mask because you know they don't want to get fucking sick, not even a cold.
Right.
From that shit from happening, you know, when they're walking the streets and it's highly populated, they'll fucking wear the mask. When they get to wherever they're going, they'll pop the mask off, you know? And
I be seeing them in Vegas wear it too sometimes, you know, because in their culture, I guess they wear it. So if they're feeling sick, they don't get nobody else sick. So it's really a respect thing.
yeah, it's a respect thing. And I think that's the problem with motherfuckers here is that there's just a lack of, you know,
Yeah, that respect is low. That respect is
and respect is low here, unfortunately. I mean, you know, a lot of us have it for one another, no doubt. But there are those that don't give a fuck about nobody but themselves, and they will put other motherfuckers at risk. And if they're sick, they ain't gonna cover themselves up. They're not even gonna fucking tell you. And those are the irresponsible motherfuckers. Those are the ones that get everybody in a twist, man.
Right. Fuck up everything.
And the crazy shit was you know, there was a news story in one of the jails here in Southern Cali that motherfuckers were trying to get sick on purpose so that they can get kicked out. Cause you know, a lot of the jails are kicking motherfuckers out real quick when they got it. Here, get out of here. We don't need that shit spreading in the whole fucking jail. And they'll send them, you know, to whatever hospital doctor, make them self-quarantine, whatever they were doing. But they caught video surveillance of these motherfuckers sharing a mask that was infected so that they can, you know, either infect the guards or get an excuse to get tossed out of there.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Nah.
I seen R. Kelly trying to get out for the coronavirus too.
Oh man, you know the shit that pissed me off is that they let that, you know, the dude Paul Manafort out. And that was you know, one of the fucking 45's homies who you know, he lied to Congress and the Senate and all that shit. And they found him guilty. He was supposed to do 7 years. And that I believe that was federal time. And he only did fucking 3 because they said, oh, well, you know, we commute the sentence so that, you know, the coronavirus and this and that. It's like, well, what about the other motherfuckers who committed a lesser crime than him?
Right.
You know, that are maybe even older than him. What the fuck? Why does he get a pass, man? That shit was fucked up. But
I don't want to send people home because they make money off of that shit. So off of the people being in there. So they go, oh, you got it? Oh, you don't really got it. You know, you get better. You young or whatever they're probably telling them in there. But hearing that story about people sharing masks with that are infected is just crazy though to me to hear that. Like I'm just like, damn.
A mask that had been infected.
Yeah, that's wild. Damn, that's crazy.
But like if they don't get sick or if they, you know, and they're just asymptomatic, you know whose blood they're gonna go harvest. They're gonna go harvest those fools' bloods and be like, okay, we got the fucking vaccine.
Yeah. Right, they're gonna start right with them.
Right. Shit, why not?
Wow.
Something to think about.
Nah, for real.
Word up, man. So let me ask you this. What are you smoking on in quarantine right now? What's your go-to?
My go-to right now is some Dizzy OG and some gelato. I've been smoking a lot of gelato.
A lot of gelato.
You got some cool new little.
Nice. That's clean.
Man, bam.
Dizzy OG. Been puffing on that, man. But I've been smoking a lot of gelato too. I don't know. I'm just loving the gelato. I'm a OG type of person. But
gelato's got a nice flavor.
Yes, it do.
No, it's
Ruby Red. I see you got the hat on that red line reserve. Yeah, that Ruby Red, bro. That's my favorite right now. I've been smoking a lot of that, and then I got some Gas Cold OG over here too. So you know, I love the indica, but we just gotta switch it up with all these flavors out here right now.
A lot of our peoples love that OG, you know, we love the indicas. I mean, we appreciate the other flavors, but like the go-tos are usually the heavier, like fucking face smack, you know what I'm saying? There it is. Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, I love the red line, bro. It's crazy because the COVID-19, I think that's what it was called. Hey, that COVID-19, man, I smoked that shit the first day I got it. I couldn't put it down. I was like, God damn, this strain's so good. Yeah, crazy flavors over there.
What a name, right?
What a name. I was like, maybe the name won't fly, but that flavor is right.
Yeah, I think he's changing the name on that. I forget.
Infected with the fire.
You're infected.
For the time when I got it, it was perfect.
Yeah, the fire is infectious.
Yes, there we go.
Oh, man. Hey, man, I want to thank y'all for taking the time, for jumping on the Dr. Greenthumb podcast, man. And I wish you congrats on the album. I can't wait to hear that shit. June 5th, Blaze with Us too.
Yes, thank you, brother, man. We got love for you all the time, man. Hopefully we can get another smoke box in too.
Yeah, sure. We got to do that. That's definitely on.
Get back to whatever normal look like.
Yeah, we'll knock that down. We got to have that.
Yeah. I appreciate you being real, man. You know what it is every time.
All day, man. Hey, let them know where they can find y'all.
You can find me. My Instagram, Twitter is I am Demrick, IAMDEMRICK, and then you can always go to Demrick420.com, and then just everywhere on all the Spotify's and Apple Music.
Yo, you can find me on Instagram, Dizzy Hippie with a Y. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Dizzy Wright with a W. Go check out the music, man. Pre-save the album, June 5th, Blaze with Us too. Be real. Thank you, brother.
Word up, man. Hey, thank you to everybody for watching and listening to Dr. Greenthumb podcast. I want to thank Dizzy and Demrick for dropping by and chopping it up, smoking out. And make sure you check that album. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Wear gloves. Wear a mask if you go out. Don't be stupid. And there's been another one. We'll see y'all next time. One.